golden earring, a solstice story from India, from the Orissa people. The villages in those days were lit only by fires and the web of stars in the always dark sky. There was as yet no sun, and the beautiful Sanwari still had both her luminous golden earrings. Sanwari gasped with pleasure when she opened the wooden box in which they lay. By flame light, she could see tiny worlds and hide their spangled, wobbling pieces. She hung them in her velvet-clefted lobes next to her full lips, where they tilted coyly beside the innocence of her face. Sanwari had not yet met her new husband. She must now travel to his village and make a place of respect for herself in a new life, just as her mother before her had done. The endless dusk hid the vibrant yellow of Sanwari's sari as she plodded to her new home on the back of a cow. To give herself courage, she touched the delicate weights of the earrings as they swung against her neck. She felt determination rise in her like a cud. The wedding dances of the new village wrapped Sanwari so quickly into her new life that not even her struggle showed. Like a fly in a web, she was bound to her husband and her new relations. But after every sleep, Sanwari took the earrings from their box. By candlelight, she could see in them the faces of her old family she had left at home. Then, Sanwari, the song to work would interrupt her reverie. Quickly, as if she were taking the old family with her, she would slide into the lobes, the slim golden hooks warmed now by her touch. Sanwari's father-in-law was a fragile old man whose energy showed only in his stories. For Sanwari, his tales unfolded like food, wrapped for safekeeping on a journey. The old man and the beautiful girl were drawn to each other. He too was a fly in a web, senses dulled, his strength gone. When he talked to Sanwari, he rolled tenderly the edges of her sari or held for a moment on his fingertips the small heaviness of her earrings. Sometimes they sat silent together by the fire, her head resting on his knee, one earring quiet against his blanketed leg, the other like a jewel near her throat. One day Sanwari went to the well. As she uncoiled the rope into its depths, in the circle of fires in the village square, a fork-tailed kite, a bird, similar to a raven, with a hooked beak, long pointed wings, swooped out of the night and ripped from her lobe one of the golden earrings. Sanwari cried out. The rope slithered out of her palms, full pail, emptying into the depths. Her hands flew to her ear and came away bloody. Cawing triumphantly, the bird sailed into the night sky, the earring teetering in his giant claws. Then, jagged in the prism of her tears, Sanwari could see him caught suddenly in the sparkling web of the stars. The bird flailed to burst free, and the earring tumbled from his claws, hooking on a strand of the web. There it hung, glinting gold, amongst the silvery white of the stars. Sobbing, Sanwari hauled the bucket up from the well's black hole and poured its contents into her jug. She stumbled home, set down the jug, rinsed the blood from her ear, and all around her the throb of the drumming began. She took the remaining earring to her father-in-law, who sat wrapped in a blanket near the fire. Sanwari kneeled, shakily telling her story. The old man stroked her head. Then he laid her earring in his papery palm and squinted at it in the firelight. "You say he's stuck, the kite bird?" he mused. Sanwari nodded. "Little Sanwari," he said, "I tell you all the time what has happened already, no?" Sanwari gulped and nodded, tilting her head to look into his kind face. "But not now, little Sanwari. Now I will tell you what will happen. That kite bird is stuck in the star web that the great spider spins across the sky. He's like a fly up there. He can't get away. But your poor earring is growing bigger and bigger. So big, Sanwari, it will light up the world. Your earring is going to be the sun." Even as he spoke, a strong shaft of light cut through the smoke hole across the pair of them, and running a stripe of bright yellow across Sanwari's silk sari. Sanwari searched the old man's illuminated face. The sounds of tambourines and hand clapping swelled over the beat of the drums. You see, Sanwari, I am right. Go, look outside. Sanwari ran from his side, ducking beneath the doorway and into the air. The sky outside was mauve, not black, bluing at the edges, and high above glistened a spangled, round golden globe. By the time she'd returned from inside, holding her father-in-law by his arm, the village was a choir of voices, and the globe had bared itself so boldly that the sky was singing blue, and the two of them could no longer even look at the blaze.